So Kevin, let's talk about growth. When you talk about growth, you talk about people growing their roles and increasing their responsibilities and their contributions to the organization. What are some ways we can ensure that that happens?
Yeah, that's right. And again, just to reiterate, engagement is driven when we feel like we're growing. Now, that can be by promotions and new job titles and all the rest, but typically it's this internal feeling, I'm growing, I'm learning new things. Now, the worst way to do it, unfortunately too many people do this, is you lean on things like annual performance reviews and sort of the corporate training and development catalog. That's not what we're talking about. People don't feel growing by getting feedback, once a year. And annual performance reviews, they can do damage. Again, when I was sort of a rookie manager, I still am very non-confrontational. I'm introverted, so I didn't want to give people negative feedback. I thought that was a tough conversation to have. So if Jim did something wrong today, I could very easily justify, I should really talk to Jim about that, but we're on deadline, he's so busy, he's got an annual review coming up in 6 months, I'll just throw this in my knapsack until the annual review and hit it with him then. And of course, I would forget all about it and not even bring it up. So when it comes to growth, I say, don't think of it as feedback, think of it as feed forward. What kind of conversations can you have that advance someone's career and help them to be successful? So a feed-forward system, first of all, it's not annual, it's tied to goals. So some goals might be, you might have a goal for this week, this month, this quarter. And so we talk about those goals and give you feedback, feed-forward as I like to call it, whenever it's needed in relation to goals. The other part of a feed-forward system is, and you mentioned it earlier, it's to get information from more than one source, not just your direct supervisor. So it's from your peers, it's from your direct reports, feedback from more sources, from customers if at all possible. But I think the key thing is to make people feel like they're growing, have their direct supervisor career coach them. A lot of managers think, I'm just really guiding them on getting their job done, and I'm correcting them, I'm giving them advice. Your job is also to give them some wisdom about career pathing. Now, it's not hard. It's not your job to get them there, but it just means have a conversation about every 6 months. Say, Jim, where are you looking to be in 3 to 5 years? What kind of knowledge and skills do you need to get there? Who do you need to know to get there? Do you think you're on track or not? And then as the leader, as the manager, I can just, it's not about sending people to training programs. If you got the budget and you wanted it, that's great. But it's more about, are there developmental opportunities that I can think about? Maybe Jim should join this task force, not because he's going to have a big role, but he's going to meet some interesting people and he's going to learn along the way. Maybe I can get Jim a mentor, someone from another department, and I'll return the favor. I'll mentor someone from their department. So it's really these things that will make people feel that, one, their direct supervisor cares about them, cares about their career, and there's some investment in their internal growth. That's what's going to trigger that hot button of, I feel like I'm growing in this place to work.
I mean, this is really interesting, especially for the average small business owner who really in a lot of cases doesn't have a lot of upward mobility for people and might hear growth in their position and think, oh, well, I've got to promote them. But what I'm hearing you say is this is really more about having someone feel that they're growing because they're learning, they're developing, and probably as importantly, that someone actually cares about them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that is the good news for small businesses is there's research that shows people who have jumped up the ladder often don't feel as engaged. They're looking for other growth opportunities they're not getting because it's not the internal psychological feeling. So if you can't give that ladder that large corporations are dangling out there, you just need to make sure people are growing and advancing on the inside.